says a ope okotade na de no nipa ba akope ne wubia ye yesu so se
yes
ya fa directors ejuma omoni omu deputies over 15 of them omu be ejuma omu te obi because company ma omu laptop e was here koto laptop mo mu be ejuma wo na oye Sammy Gyamfi all the 4 months and 3 months be competitive tender na de akwakoto laptop no answer na directors na ye ejuma na busumi bi omu GP answer me answer me because on faithful be no more CEO e be now also meshenkom e be also be CEO. So if you were in my shoes and you have employed directors drawing salary and the company must give them tools to work including a laptop, ubekwa kwa competitive tendering for 3 to 4 months as an laptop no and a laptop na ye koto no sa I call the no at the time only one company had 15 copies of it in their stocks. All those who had it, no one had 15. Kompu Ghana, all of them we checked at the time, nobody. So the law says, Adiano, open temwa yenu so sourcing. Because a car, if you want to do competitive tendering, a door so chain fast if you do the competitive tendering. Because precious man hours will be wasted by these directors because they don't have a laptop and yet they'll be drawing salaries. A waste of the public purse. Then, Adiana Okakotono so no nipa ba akopene wo ebi at that number. Enti yen trainer man for nko krebi mraga na nzani akoye de. Almost la nyam bi before come in almost mu laptop 25,000. Laptop even more than 50,000.
Laptop
this laptop we bought yes this
and your laptop a gold board be here from administration.
No, but the laptop we bought the specific
documents.
The laptop we bought the specifications are listed. Because they're very portable, you can convert it into a tablet, and we want the directors to have that flexibility to work. And yeah, bona ya toy, you know, 500 cedis cheaper than price I ton of shop. Now, it is a mayor so sourcing. Now, directors nenya had any time, no my ye juma. Now, gold board, the team achieve the $10.8 billion coming into the economy. $1 above from CDA Gina, yes, I am a winner. Now, may you know at a cheaper price. Enya de papa the menka say in opposition because it ya so sourcing bia no be abuse di we sikenti no say enemy CEO of gold border na me director sepa I should spend 3 months doing competitive tendering to buy laptops for them. Does that make sense?
Yentie voice we
no vehicles na sana wa call voice so omonam eno master so ko post to bibi say Yakoto pickups. So sourcing. All these contracts I directed for the corporate affairs department to publish. So it is to our credit. And you'll be an akubibia. Obi mezanzo be bube. Wo na waya you CEO of Gold Board. Go smuggling equal me. Dollars was a banner the boy economy nya. The economy is the stress. You have been given a job to raise foreign exchange for the economy and bring about recovery and stability. The key ingredient of your work is enforcement. Say man for be dimra so smuggle so you need a task force. You have a task force of 120 people. Busumi bi out your moka. Joma inaugurate your president 7th of July. By August omutifie because yenya cars ma omo. Because national security I ever say omo be ma asoja for near police for ne cars. No matimi cooperations and go fight smuggling no. Omo so muni cars ni bi. 1 month task force ni tifie. Now company with Sika for koto cars obekwa koye competitive tendering for 3 to 4 months ansa na wakoto cars no na 3 to 4 months ni nyina na gold ni go otwen ho gold no almost small ni go otwen na when we car ye toma for national security operations ye to competitive tendering da car and on the operations e koche criminals anybody can put a tracker in it or an explosive in it or anything in it no we say national security to cars are more tax force are competitive tendering. So the security consideration of it and the urgency of the cars for task force operations to fight smuggling will not allow any sensible person to waste 3-4 months to do competitive tendering. You will go and buy. Now the good news in pick up Toyota Hilux 2025. Your Tobacubia 674,000 cedis. Go to Toyota and check. At the time we bought our Toyota Hilux, 674,000 cedis. Not Toyota Hilux, na yesay. Ours was cheaper. Check other bobo companies. Swiss, check other car sellers. So omu nimdi omoka. this issue about was it the almost say make a baby about soul sourcing. But people know it. You don't have to play the tape. People know it. Let me deal with it.
The question is that I want to ask Sammy Gyamfi, the contract that he claimed was awarded to Dr. Bawumia's brother, was there any conflict of interest in those contracts?
No,
it was raising as a major corruption issue.
But we didn't say Bawumia the contract and Ninuya into a conflict of interest. Yeah,
yeah, but I said sole source into corruption.
No, Obi, but your team here, pa. Because Bawumia don't award the contract, no. Any man a cuckoo board na yeah.
Yes.
So where is the conflict of interest? What we spoke about and I say Bawumia nuya, yeah, man contracts. Contracts are the money na the money sole sourcing. Ebini Sunyane Airport rehabilitation so sourcing. Cocoa Rose enya baako mienu miensa so sourcing.
Allowed in the law.
Yes, TMA. But no, not in fact what the TMA. But so sourcing na yede man no Auditor General akoya wunhwehwemu. And Auditor General say contracts no had been ne bo no.
Yes.
Yede abon mo miensa enya Sammy Gyamfi ne kan. Eye Auditor General of Ghana. And I may say, Bawumia benefited from inflated, sole-sourced, overpriced projects. And I made a press conference. And I made a NDC 360. And I made a bonechi. But why not you be NDC? Muna me monechi. Why in a day contract be? I'm a sole sourcing. Na ya audits. Na audit and say the contract was inflated.
That's how the audit be.
Me bato TMA. Eti try ba na de aba na makebi aboa. Na mankebia moa waka say me a hypocrite. But say the unia dance bia. The mere use of sole sourcing does not connote a crime. If due process was followed and approval was given by the PPA and the project meets the requirements of sole sourcing, and NDC yankani baby that's a way sole source ya chesa wa bokro no. MPP for ne kan when they were in opposition first. Say sole sourcing means stealing. And they came and made sole sourcing the norm instead of the exception. No, TNA.
The norm.
Auditor General, the performance audits our year
yes.
On Cocoa Rose.
Sure.
Paragraph 61. Na Suleiman Abraham awuntien ye ma wuti wakotwa me video and o say Sammy Gyamfi can weigh about sole sourcing.
NDC 360.
They na make any press conference. They na make about sole sourcing, you know. Was not just because the sole source Yama Bawumia contract. It was because Auditor General established at paragraph 61. Listen. Cocoa Board, I quote the Auditor General. Cocoa Board indicated in its request letters to PPA for approval for single source procurement and restricted tendering that the works on the Cocoa Rose were urgent. That the contractors selected were in proximity to the project locations and had experience in executing similar works. The reasons adduced by Cocoa Board to the Public Procurement Authority for approval for single sourcing and restricted tendering did not meet the requirements of the Public Procurement Act. This is the Auditor General. Cocoa Board indicated in its request to PPA that the works were urgent, but did not indicate the conditions necessitating the urgency. 62 for 8 of the 35 road contracts, which Cocoa Board provided records of start and completion days, we found that all had gone beyond the expected completion days as shown in table 6, showing that it was not urgent. 19 63. According to the PPA manual, okay, let me read the relevant portion because of time. The experience of the contractor for the let me read it 63. According to the PPA manual, the proximity of a contractor to the location of the road project is not a factor for single sourcing or restricted tendering. The experience of the contractor for road works is a requirement for all procurement rules. Not to a person so sourcing approval was illegal. That is what the Auditor General is saying. It did not conform with law. And I say, notwithstanding PPA approved all Cocoa Board's request to use single source procurement and restricted tendering. Our analysis showed, TNA, that the cost of works procured using sole sourcing and restricted tendering were more than those procured using national competitive tendering. even though national competitive tender took more time and resources to evaluate. Conclusion: Cocoa Board did not rigorously analyze its procurement option for value for money, but sought approval from PPA for single sourcing and restricted tendering, procuring contracts that were up to three times more expensive that they could have obtained through competitive tendering. So Suleiman Abrahima, oba ye now say, I was saying Kaonobu Kwame Abuja Kwaya Kwai. Now we use competitive tendering, but wakoye ni nyina so sourcing. So sourcing reasons or the come PPA man the kwanta onko ye so sourcing no. Enye no na mmara no ekire into we ni mmara no so. Oni PPA nyina eti amra no so. Ekwan na okwawe no so no de toto ekwan a ye de competitive tendering aya. Ekwan na odi so sourcing ye no ne bo no ye be twice or thrice as much the price of ekwan a ye de competitive tendering ye den. Ya. And as Sammy Gyamfi ma be defend Kwame Abuja and was Sammy Gyamfi or ye nya atwemni. But obaya was ye big push project. Na dodo na no ye de so sourcing ye. And I was in the so sourcing ye ya. Emra be na obi ato.
Yeah, but Emra Obianto Mra, but President Mahama Eka said he was not referring to Auditor General's report. But
they say the word Ghanaian fi Sammy Gyamfi side, don't call President Mahama. Sammy Gyamfi I could have said. Man was Sammy Gyamfi did not do a blanket condemnation of so sourcing. He premised it on
will not be the norm,
yes,
but the exception. And an analysis of the contract this shows and Minister 44% of major contract is sold.
Now 44% of anything. Yes. How can that be the norm? And then in this one. Now me this 56% may have competitive tendering. Now 44% is so sourcing. 44 and also change 56. Obi azembe na okay. Ministry Kronano, other road projects or mama across the country 400. Nini no the competitive tendering here.
And no percentage saying of all the road contracts.
No the 44 no is 44% of the major roads. Yes. 139 projects. Sure. 139 no meeting no PM Express. And on a 44% is so sourcing. 400 na kano road repairs nesa anyema ni na competitive tender no de become one. So sourcing no 5% kra. In the year then, President Mahama Samuel can say, so sourcing will be the exception, not the norm. No, Honorable Kwame Abuja Wabuso. I am trainer bosso. You see, people. You see, in a country where there is good governance, there arise starvation of scandals. Scandals become scarce. So some civil societies organizations struggle for relevance. And one way here. Asanso Boache na MPP ni bibe dada o say yakoye road project be so a problem bi wo ho. Wo was Bible say wonu asem ne de bi bua wo. Say Suleiman Abraham ne for first state asem mo de ba ye no. Omo ma ya dance ye say so say na follow mra. And so say ni ntino ya overprice the contract na dance ye ni ma wo and lastly ma wo say waye didi wakofa road bi apegoso Impakan road. And I'll say 164 million and I buy the koye in 2025. Na kilometer no per kilometer near about 16 million to conclude that a road project is overpriced, you should be talking about some quantity surveying or some audits or some official report of a sort.
That's fine.
You don't look at a road cost 164 divided by 9 kilometers, and then you get the cost per kilometer. Road no, Sika na enye ni nyina ne de kwan yo. Unim say Federal Roads headquarters HMB. Udi ni nyina bo na ase ni nyina kilometer per road. Asenso Boache, former minister for roads. Bantema rehabilitation of roads. Kwan ya wo dada o se yensie no. 10.5 kilometers or the 162.3 million a So should we just look at the figure? Divide that by the total kilometers and say the road is inflated. Suleiman Abrahama is somebody I personally respect and love. I have his number. We've communicated and we've collaborated on many issues in the past. I have not changed my position on using sole source, abusing sole sourcing, okay, in flagrant disregard for the law, and using that to overprice contracts and fleece the state. I have been consistent. What time now they buy any mueha? Any mueha swa? We will do the necessary analysis. And don't just say anybody is being hypocritical. Until let's compare like with like Obinyamisha.
Hopefully, no say Auditor General's report back on the road.
Oh yes. Now the Auditor General says that the roads were overpriced. Ministry nechi. Niyaka said that should not be the case.
Sammy Mamenase.